Hi Lion Cubs, I'm not here in the library today, but I'm giving you a rundown of all the fun activities we're doing this week for Hour of Code. In station number 1, we're using Morse Code. That's what this letter and dot dash system is. So each letter is represented by a set of dots and dashes. So these dots and dashes help us to understand what the letter is, and we're going to make a bracelet to spell out your name. So I have a son named John. So we're going to take a pipe cleaner here, and we're going to spell out the name John using some beads on the pipe cleaner to make a bracelet with that name. So if we look at the letter J, it's a dot, dash, dash, dash. Well, over here we've got cups, and we have the dot cup and the dash cup. So we need 1 from the dot cup and 3 from the dash cup to make the letter J. So that means we need 1 purple and 1, 2, 3 white beads. And when we put those onto the pipe cleaner, that's the letter J. Next is the letter O, and it's 3 dashes. So we go back to our dash cup, and we pull out 3 more. So it's 3 more white beads. Next is the letter H, and you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. So we go to the purple dots, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 dot beads that we can put onto the bracelet for the letter H. And then letter N is a dash and a dot, so we need 1 white for the dash and 1 purple for the dot. So that spells out the name John, J-O-H-N. And then we can put them onto the pipe cleaner, and it makes a bracelet. So you can try to make your name also. Boys and girls, station number 2 is the mouse robot. So the first job is to make a maze for your mouse to run on. So we've got 1 mouse robot here. We control it using the arrow keys. The yellow will clear out, the red turns it off, the green has the mouse robot go. So we tell it how to go. So we want it to go forward 1, forward 2. We want it to turn, go forward, turn, and go forward to get to our cheese. So if I let it go and try that out, it made it to our cheese. Yay! So I won. I got it right. Perfect. But here's the problem. This is the last working mouse robot in the school right now. So the problem is that when people have it, when the kids and students are using this and we tell it how to go and we push the go button, if it goes the way we don't want it to go, we have kids grabbing it and holding it still or trying to pull it back while the wheels underneath are still moving. When that happens, inside the mouse, there are gears that are spinning and they're getting torn up and broken. So when you hit the green button, you need to let go and let the robot move. If it goes a way that you didn't plan for, that's okay. Wait until it stops moving. Then you can use the clear buttons to clear it out and put it back on the start and try again. But we want to keep this mouse robot working, so please, once you hit go, let go until it stops moving. Thank you, boys and girls. All right, boys and girls. Station number 3 is the B-Bots. We have 2 B-Bots here, each with a mat. The mats have colors. Our job is to take a card. We got the orange card, so our job is to get the the B-Bot to get to the orange square. So to do that, we use the direction keys. The X clears out what we have, so we can click the go button when we're ready. So I want to first go forward 1, forward another, forward another. I want to turn, and it stays on the square it's on when it turns. And then you go forward one and forward another to get to orange. So if that works, then we got it correct. Let's try it out and see if it works. All right, so our B-bot got to the right spot and it stopped. If it didn't go to the right spot, if it went a way that we hadn't planned, this is just like the mouse robots. We need you to make sure that once you hit go, you keep your hands away until it stops moving. Because just like the mouse robots, the B-bots have gears inside, and if you grab it and hold it or pull it backwards, it's going to tear up the things inside. So please just hit the go and let it go. If it doesn't work, you hit the X, clear it out, and you can start again. All right, have fun working together in pairs at the B-bot. All right, boys and girls, station number 4 are these robots here. These are Autobots. These robots are looking for you to draw them a path. That's why we have a cup of markers. We have red, blue, green, and black markers. You can use these markers to make a path on white paper for the robot to follow. Now, I've already made a path for the robots to follow, and I want to show you these lines are nice and thick lines because it makes it easier for the robot to follow it. So what we do is once we have our path done, we shouldn't be touching the robot until our path is drawn out. Once you've drawn your path, we can take one of the robots and place it on the paper at the start of your line. And there's a button on the side that you push, and the robot will follow your path. So this is really cool. If you make the lines nice and thick, it makes it easy for the robot to follow so that it can follow your path all the way through. So that's pretty exciting. It allows for the robot to go all the way through your path and have a good time rolling around. So you can make the path wind up and down and back and forth to see how it moves. All right, boys and girls, have a great time trying out our Autobots. All right, boys and girls, station number 5 is using the cause and effect machines. So these chain reaction machines, they come with the cards. We've got the cards for tracks 1, 2, and 3, the easiest of the tracks, out for you. So the idea is that it shows you the picture of what it should look like when the track is done. And on the back, it shows you how to put it together step by step. You put these 3 things together, put this here, then you put the track down, put the next track down underneath, you put the end piece on, and then it should look something like this when you're done. Now, just because it's put together the right way doesn't mean it's always going to work. But we'll try it out. We'll see. I'm going to drop the ball, and it falls off. Oh, all right. So that didn't work for me. So my next step is to adjust. See if I can move the track a little bit. See if I can move this track a little bit, and then try again. What I really want is for the ball to get in here and flip up that flag. If I can do that, then I can move on to the next track. Good luck, boys and girls. Let's see how you do. All right, boys and girls, station number 6 is using this Sphero robot and an iPad. So the first thing you need to do is make sure the iPad, we go to the Sphero EDU app. When you open it up, it should bring you to this page. This is asking you which of the Sphero robots to connect to. Either iPad will connect to either of the Spheros, that's okay. We're gonna check and see if it's this one that's right next to it. If it's the right one, it's gonna light up. There we go, we picked the right one. It should bring you to this screen here. Now real quick, teachers, if your students get to a screen that looks more like this, if you look down at the bottom it says Home, Programs, Activities, and Drive. We're gonna stick with the Drive. So this gives us a screen panel that looks like this. We've got a couple different options. The first one is Aim. If we look here, this blue dot should be near us. It should be pointing towards us. That's what we want because it's gonna help when we get to using the joystick to drive, it'll make it so it actually works the correct way, forward, backwards, that kind of stuff. Otherwise it can be a little bit off and it's a little bit more challenging to drive. Next, we have the speed of the Sphero. Down at the bottom is slow, up at the top is really fast. You probably want it somewhere in the middle. This last controller over here changes the color that the Sphero glows. So we can change it to blue or purpley or pink or red or yellow or back to green. Now, the color doesn't really matter a whole lot, but when two Spheros are running, if they're two different colors, that'll probably help to keep an eye on which Sphero you are using. Now, with the Sphero, like we said, this is the joystick. So if I push forward, it goes forward. If I push back, it comes back. If I push forward to get it back on the camera screen, it's going to be right there for me. So, with this controller, your job is to drive inside the box that is on the floor of the library. Now, this is a two-person game. We have a driver and a navigator. The navigator is going to call out a shape. The driver has the goal of getting the Sphero to land inside the shape. So we've got a square, a heart, a rectangle, a star, a trapezoid, and a triangle. So the navigator calls out a shape like star. It's the driver's job to drive the Sphero and get it to stop on the star. And then the navigator will say rectangle, and you go over to the rectangle, and then maybe they say triangle, and then you come all the way down to the triangle. Once you've driven to 3 shapes, it's time to switch jobs. The navigator becomes the driver, and the driver becomes the navigator. And the new navigator will call out a shape, like heart. And the new driver can drive the Sphero to the heart, or to the trapezoid, or to the square, in different orders. We're going to be taking turns with these back and forth. I hope you really enjoy using the Spheros. All right, boys and girls, station number 7 is the Co2 Pillar. So you guys have used this before. You take the different pieces and plug them into the back of the Co2 Pillar. And then when you're ready, you make sure that the Co2 Pillar is turned on and you push the button. When you do, it will light up the pieces, it'll read the code, and then it'll get moving. Here's an important thing to think about. When the Co2 Pillar is moving, if you try and stop it or pull it back, just like the mouse robots and the bee robots, the insides start to break and then it won't work anymore. So be very careful with that. The other thing is we'd like to challenge you to use the start pieces and the end pieces. Can you get the Co2 Pillar to move from the start to the end and not just all over the room? Can you get the right code to make it work and go from start to end? Try it out and have a great time using the Co2 Pillar.